the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
When we think of leadership, we often picture big decisions, strategies, and the drive to succeed. But what if true leadership is rooted in the virtue of humility, rooted in service, and the focus on a greater good? Well, Pope Leo XIV's leadership style offers just that. He's a powerful reminder of the values that define great leaders. Joining us live is former CEO of Baxter and a Morning Air regular contributor, Professor Harry Kraemer, with much more on how Pope Leo XIV's actions and approach can teach us some valuable lessons about leading with integrity, purpose, and compassion. Harry's a professor of management and strategy at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management, where he teaches in the MBA and executive MBA programs. Professor Harry, thanks so much for joining us. It is a joy to be with you once again here on the second to last day of our Spring Pledge Drive.
Great to be with you and the team, John. Always great to be with you guys.
Your recent article featured on Forbes highlighted Pope Leo XIV as a model for leadership. What inspired you to write about this?
The bottom line, John, is in a world where we clearly don't have a lot of value-based leaders, and we look at how polarized things are, to be so blessed to follow Pope Francis with now Pope Leo XIV, who, as you just said, is an amazing example of what being a value-based leader is all about. I mean, the fact that the man is clearly reflective in his training and what he's done of just really thinking through prayerfully, why are we here? What's the purpose? Unbelievable. The balance that he's already exhibited. And as you know, John, the word Catholic means universal. And in a world where things get so polarized, clearly a person who's trying to bring us all together as 1.5 billion Catholics around the world. Your comment, the genuine humility. I mean, realizing that every single person matters. And the fact that he's an American, but at the same time, he spent so much time, as a missionary and as a servant leader in Latin America, in Peru. I mean, I'll tell you, we are so blessed beyond belief, John. It's remarkable. And I also love the true self-confidence. He knows what he knows. He appears to admit what he doesn't know. I guess, John, the way I'd like to look at it is, and I hope it doesn't sound bad to say, he's kind of a regular guy. He's a regular guy. In fact, John, the only concern I have, my serious concern about him, is that it's rumored that he's not a Cub fan and he's a White Sox fan, John. That's the concern.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, we can overlook that in fact, the White Sox actually retired the number 14 in honor of Pope Leo. So, but you know what? I think he's not an anti-Cub fan. He's a Chicago guy. I was very moved when our new Holy Father, Pope Leo, came out on the balcony, and you could look into his eyes. You talk about humility. He was humbled to look out into the magnitude of the crowd, hundreds of thousands of people, watching his every gesture, his every move. His eyes welled up with emotion. I think he understood the level of responsibility as the leader of the Universal Catholic Church when he stepped out on that balcony.
Just truly remarkable, John. I got so emotional watching it. I mean, here's a guy, think about it, a guy from the south side of Chicago. He goes to Villanova. He's a math major. You could be so easily get wrapped up in, it's all about me. No, it wasn't about him. It's, he is the person that is now the person that Jesus said will follow Peter. And just that responsibility of, I'm here to serve. It isn't about me. A lot of times a leader, it can be all about them. And they're sort of on the top of the triangle. And he literally flips the thing in my mind. I see him seeing himself. He's at the very bottom, and he's helping the Cardinals, who help the priests, who help the lay people, who help every single person around the world in need of finding Christ. And he's there. It's beautiful, John. It's absolutely beautiful. It's hard for me not to get emotional every time I watch the fellow.
I know exactly what you mean. I got emotional myself. That especially those first moments. You talk about servant leadership all the time here on this show, and one of the titles of the successor of St. Peter is the servant of the servants of God. Maybe can you talk a little bit about Pope Leo's example of servant leadership?
I mean, I see him in that example where, unlike other people, where, they're at the top, and they're going to tell a couple of the senior cardinals, here's what I want to do, here's what I want you to tell me to do, here's what I got to. He literally flips it around to talk about how it's all about service. It's all about how can he help the people that'll help the people that will bring everybody closer to Jesus Christ.
Professor, can you talk a little bit about the importance of communication and leadership and how effectively so far we've seen the Holy Father communicate in a number of languages, in fact?
Well, it's funny, John, what does leadership really come up to? And the fact that it has nothing to do with titles and organizational charts, right? It has everything to do with the ability to have an influence on people. And the only way you can really do that in a loving way is to be able to relate to people. So to your point, the fact that he can speak various languages. I mean, I was amazed. Here's an American who, when he gets on, he was speaking in Latin. He was speaking in Spanish. He's the person that no matter where you are in the world, you say, I can relate to him. So just John, just the way you and I in this talk relate to him as two guys from Chicago, I think people relate to him as two people from Peru or two people from Europe, two people from, that ability to understand what does it really take in open, honest communication, not theoretical, not high level, but just a down to earth. We're in this together. We're all together. And how can we operate as a team here to move closer to Jesus?
Well, it was an outstanding article. And what would you like anyone who reads your article about Pope Leo and leadership to come away with?
Yeah, and I think anybody, John, in a leadership position or somebody even younger who wants to be in a leadership position, I think by reading that and saying, wow, these are the qualities of a true value-based leader. How many of these can I emulate? Can I take this from being all about me to really being about the people that I serve? Can I be a better communicator? Can I be somebody who's not just running around endlessly, but being truly reflective to think through, how do I reach people? What kind of example do I want to set? Because as you know, John, everybody watches the leader. Everybody watches exactly what the leader does. And what kind of example do you want to be?
It's a powerful article. It's called The Powerful Lesson Pope Leo XIV Can Teach Leaders. You can find it at Forbes.com. Professor Harry, as always, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much.
Like what you just heard? Share it with your family and friends. And thanks for listening.